Good afternoon. It's time for day 3 here at CES 2015. I'm Tim Moore with Rochester Optical, and with me is Colleen. So it's good to be back. It's nice to sit down for a few minutes.
It's been a whirlwind here.
It's been a whirlwind, and our feet are tired, as is our waiting for taxis. That's another issue. But it's been a very fascinating time here. We've had a really neat day today in going around and really drilling down into some of the wearable technologies, smart eyewear in particular. We've been spending a lot of really exciting time in Epson and Vuzix and some of the other awesome augmented reality stuff, which we're going to get into some of the things that we want to talk about. But first thing we wanted to mention to everybody, if you just hang on tight, we're going to be we'll be announcing a special giveaway from Epson. First one wins. It's hide and seek. It's going to be a little bit fun here, thanks to Epson.
But, running shoes? Do you think there are any running shoes?
It could be. We did see some of those earlier today. But why don't we go ahead and get started with some of the things that you and I have been talking about, Colleen. Is we've been walking through Tech East, Tech West. Here we are back at the Venetian again. I'm tired of. It'd be nice if this was one event in one place, but there's just so many people here. So much to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's overwhelming. I mean, what is there, 8 halls that they're in? So it's lots of excitement here. And we talked about robots earlier.
We did. And as goofy as that sounds.
Yeah, you know, the term robotics and robots, one of the things we were talking about is that it's really changed over the years. And sort of the definition of what people are talking about as robotics today are really have adapted into wearables, into smartwatches, into smart glasses, into smart homes, Samsung Smart Things, Smart Hub, and this idea that taking technology and putting it in an automated way, like the driverless car that we talked about yesterday, and using the technology to enhance your daily life or to enhance a specific task that you have. And what do you think? I think that's the new definition of robotics today.
It is just being hammered to us over and over and over and over that the robot is the robot. The connectivity is really the key to it being a success, right?
Correct. And you know, as you walk through the convention center, you'll see that there's these big companies like Samsung, like Sony, like Qualcomm, and they're building a suite of devices that all operate on their proprietary software, where they're working with particular developers that are doing something just for them. And you know, the real question that we talked about is what do you do when someone wants devices that vary from company to company, and do you lose that sense of connectivity, therefore making them useless?
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense that logically down the road, it is going to kind of impair something from connecting, right? It's like our phones, iPhone, Droid. We can't use the same charger.
Correct.
I mean, something as simple as that, you think that they would fix by now.
I mean, my purse is filled with an iPhone charger, a Samsung charger,
right.
I got a camera charger.
Yeah, so just coming up with a universal standard after all these years, almost 9 years now with smartphones, we still can't get to a universal standard to everyone just calm down, relax, and see for the betterment and the furtherance of this. I know the accessory guys love it, but us as consumers, not a big fan.
Yeah, and I mean to dive into sort of the smart glass world, one of the things we saw from an application standpoint is you've got glassware, you've got Android. They don't speak to each other, and therefore it makes it difficult to, you sort of have to choose, okay, what's my device going to be?
Right.
What am I going to buy into, or as a developer, what am I going to develop for?
Right.
And, how do you choose that device, and where is that going, and what's the functionality going to be? What's my use? Yeah. Therefore, I can decide what device. It's sort of a little cart before the horse here that we're seeing a little bit.
Quite a bit. And even talking with the software guys that we were talking to today, they're kind of emphasizing the same frustration is that, it's difficult when there's 20 different types of sand, but we all want to play in the same sandbox, but I'm going to only use my sand.
Yep.
And it's just like, look, at some point we've got to bridge that gap, but we will do that. But the nice thing about it is they all say the same thing. It's when it comes back to whatever those robots are doing, whatever those robots are performing for you or on your behalf, you are the one that has to control it. And that robot is only going to serve you as good as the data that you give it, the commands that you give it, and the information that it gives back to you as you need it. And that's where things like smartwatches or your phone right now, but eventually up where your senses are, that data has got to come back to you in a way that's going to help you. And as everyone has been saying, Colleen, when it comes to smart devices, that data being given to you is what's going to make these robots so useful.
Yeah, and there's two buzzwords that we keep hearing: neurosensors and artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And you spoke on
that was a big one.
You spoke on the Digital Health Summit yesterday, and there was really interesting perspective on artificial intelligence. Do you want to elaborate a little bit on what that debate and that conversation was?
Yeah, because we've been throwing that around for how long? I mean,
back to Minority Report. I always use that example as the future is becoming more and more like that.
Right, and that it was artificial intelligence, and they really mentioned this on the Digital Health Summit yesterday. Is that it's not artificial intelligence; it's flipped. It's actually now intelligence augmented for us as the user. It's not there's nothing artificial about it. It's very real. It's very relevant and contextual to your life as a person or as a company, but mostly as a person. So for all of this data to be useful, it's not about artificial anything. It's got to be real, and it's got to be the way you want it, when you want it, for it to be really helpful and to tip. And so I think as far as robotics, I think that's the takeaway that we're coming away with, is that it's got to be intelligence that's augmented for you, your way, through smart eyewear, smartwatch, or however else you want to get that information. So I think robots, you're going to be hearing a lot more about it as in the future. We're very interested in it from the smart eyewear component, and as we learn more, as it matures, obviously we'll be talking about this again.
Yeah, and just to recap, we've seen tons of smart glasses. Yesterday we mentioned a few, the Samsung Gear. We talked about Oculus. We talked about the Epson Moverio.
Yep.
And walking through some of the other halls yesterday, as we said, this place is huge. So, every day we're finding new things. We mentioned Merge and
Marshmallow Soft.
Marshmallow Soft, exactly.
That's right. Great tagline.
If you haven't tried it on, it's amazing.
I'm also Marshmallow Soft. Just so you know.
Well, you need one of those Fitbits then.
I know. Maybe tomorrow. Better dial in.
We saw the Toshiba glass yesterday. We walked over and looked at that.
Yeah.
The Sony glasses, the Jens Mem today.
I know. Very light. It was very impressive.
Yeah, the frame development on it was
excellent.
Yeah. So and then moving into the gaming world, where Oculus has a huge space, and it allows you to walk in and put the device on and have a 3D gaming experience with it.
A very pixelated one.
Correct. We also saw the 3D head, which is this monster device that
the Titanic. It's ginormous. It's ginormous. I mean, it's like a watermelon.
It's something else.
Yeah, I probably would send that back to Scott for extra design. Yeah.
Scott's going to be filled up for the rest of the year.
yeah, that'll fill him up. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we did see when we talk about virtual reality, because everybody here is talking about virtual reality. Most people out in the consumer world, they don't even know what in the world it is, and so we've got a little bit of time here before this is going to mature as any type of a smart eyewear.
Well, I can't tell you what, we saw the View 6 eyewear 2 days ago.
Very nice.
And again, we walked by it yesterday, and
what were they calling it?
The eyewear, right?
Eyewear.
Yeah.
Eyewear.
Yeah, eyewear, and it's got built-in headphones right into it. You put it on, and the screen is
very impressive.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, very impressive. And I don't know if it's for sale yet or not, but you can check the Vuzix.com website and see it over there. We were very impressed with it.
Yeah.
The audio was good. Everything was built right in. So Paul and the team over there has done well. Pretty impressive.
And they pulled in a handful of awards this year
Four.
with their B-Wave, which is a brand new. I think, is it enterprise or consumer focus?
Yeah, they're focusing on enterprise waveguide technology that, again, still early.
Yep.
But it's impressive. There's no HUD.
No, I mean it's it's probably one of the better ones that we've seen that
So far.
that is not non-obtrusive, and you really feel like you're wearing glasses.
Yeah, they're of course we'll design some better looking frames for them. So, but the lens technology and what they had there was, I mean, superior to what Sony had.
Yeah. You know, I've said walking in the show that the Epson BT200 still has the most the brightest screen that we've seen around the show, and I'd say Vuzix
It's second.
Yeah, it's getting there. But you know, I going back to all the VR smart glasses that we've seen. It's interesting. I didn't realize that they're using smartphones, that they're actually sliding into cavities within the device to make up the screen, and then allowing the user to interact with actually the screen of the phone. And
Which is good and bad, because I mean, like some of them that we saw, it required you not just to have the headset, but then it required you to for the optics, you had to actually have either the Note 4, which seemed to be the one that most of them with Samsung were using, Oculus, which is pixelated from like the Flintstones. I mean, I don't get it. Or you see guys that merge Marshmallow Soft that are doing really some interesting things where you can just put in any device.
You can slide them in,
which is actually more appealing to me.
Yeah.
You put in your iPhone, I put in my Galaxy, and we both got a nice experience.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So VR definitely is a very hot trend here at CES. No doubt we'll be seeing a lot more of it. We'll be showing some things at Vision West. So for those of you that are in the smart eyewear area, we'll be telling you more about that. We're not giving
Vision
away
East in New York.
Vision East. Yeah, sorry, I'm Tech West, Tech East oriented right now. I'm blaming it all on the taxis. So what was the other thing we wanted to talk about?
We wanted to move in and maybe share some of the odd things that we've seen, or some of the other areas that
We've
really
seen
are
a lot of odds.
holy headphones.
Holy headphones. Tell them about the headphones, because this is a big place. There's a lot of stuff here. And they're kind of pockets of different things here and there and everywhere. But headphones,
they're everywhere. I mean, who knew there were so many brands of headphones?
I didn't know. I didn't know people. They're either disposable and people are buying them and throwing them away after one use, or something, because everyone is selling headphones. I don't know what they do.
Yes,
they were everywhere.
So we noticed headphones are a huge area. 3D printing, small, fast, mobile,
Edible.
on the spot.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that we are so close, if not already there, to walking into a sales meeting, into a client meeting, into an RFP, and pulling out of your backpack or even your pocket in some instances, a 3D printer that's going to make a prototype right there on the table.
Right on the spot. Make the adjustments to what you want, print it, wear it.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's amazing.
So
it's amazing to see that.
That area was very cool. This morning we walked around again the health and fitness area, and couldn't help but notice the new Misfits, and again they've partnered up with Swarovski and are just doing some beautiful fashion tech collaborations.
It is absolutely beautiful. You don't even see the device. It looks like such a beautiful piece of Georgina would want it. Wouldn't she?
I mean, they're stunning, and the fact that you can swap them in and out, and they're still providing benefits to your daily life.
Wonderful. Well, we still like them. We still love the Misfit. The Misfit, as what it does, is still elegantly simple, like Google, very elegantly simple, and does the functions and does them well. Now you put it with this amazing level of fashion and luxury, and I'm going to post some pictures. It's mind-boggling. It is so beautiful.
Talking about apps, holy cow. Do you want to tell them about our traffic lines and our taxi lines?
Yeah. So
and bandwagon?
I'll tell them about.
Holy
I'll
moly.
tell them about the line, because I'm talking to my therapist about it. He's been helping me today. And then you tell them about bandwagon. So last night we were here a little bit late because we had some media things to do, and then we left and we went out. We figured everyone would clear out, right? There's only 160, 170,000 people here. How long can it take? Well, we go outside and there is a line from here to Rochester to get a taxi. And no joke, it was an hour and a half wait. There were 500 people waiting for taxis just at the Las Vegas Convention Center. So we're sitting there waiting, and an hour goes by, and we move like 10 feet. So along comes this guy from Bandwagon, and he says to us, hey, how about you match up with somebody else on our new app and go to the front of the line?
And now Bandwagon, gentleman that walked up to us, we noticed is actually it's a innovative lab that NYU and they're working with one other university.
Yeah.
But this app is so cool. So we download the app and you plug in your location and you find out who in that area is also going to the same. They're in the same area that are going to the same destination. You sync up, and what they were running yesterday was you get pulled to the front of the line. So we're looking at our watches. We're saying, 400 people to go. Yeah, let's try this. Cool.
What can I hurt? We ain't going anywhere.
And the app worked great.
It was great. And as we're walking all the way to the front of the line, we're saying, wow, this Bandwagon thing, you guys ought to check it out. And it looked at us like we were stupid until we got in the cab and pulled away.
Wait, where are they going?
All the way to the, we drove, I don't know how far we drove to the restaurant. But as we're driving to the restaurant, the guy on the mic back at the Las Vegas Convention Center is going, hurry up, guys, we still got 300 people here. Yeah. So it was a nightmare. Bandwagon, thank you. It was great. We had a really nice experience.
And I think that really hits home again to what this show is all about. You have these major companies. You've got Intel that releases the button-sized camera that is, has great potential to do really amazing things in 2015 and into the future. But you go back to the heart of these small companies that have really great ideas, and that's really where the innovation starts.
That work.
Correct.
That work. That's the key. See, you can have all this junk, and there's a lot of it here, really. And as you weed through it, you do find things that actually work.
Well, tell me, we walked by FitBark. Is that what it was called?
FitBark, yes. I tell you what, this little guy, it's a little thing you put on your puppy, and we both have puppies. So I was going to get one for JoJo, and because you put it on your app, and this is like puppy stalking, but it tells you everything your puppy's doing.
My puppy's going to be like, Mom.
If he's sleeping, yeah. And it didn't have a taser feature, but you could see if he was walking, if he was active right now. It gives you graphs and charts. It's cute for a puppy.
Hey, JoJo, you haven't been active enough. Come on, step it up.
Yeah, so, but again, useful. Even if it's just entertainment value while you're out of the house. There was no video component to it, but it was just a little thing that went on their collar, and you got to see how active they were or were not. And to me, I find that useful. I would pay for that. I would enjoy using it.
And that's something that I've really enjoyed walking around the show is looking for innovative examples of people that are doing functional things. Everybody wants a piece of this pie. Everybody, it's very clear here that wearables are not going away and that they're only going to grow. And going back to this concept of sensors, we talked about Think on day one.
Yeah.
And you see this, people are tapping into the nervous system to say, how can this technology understand me? How can I understand the technology? How can we data share? Yeah. And how can you help me? How can you enhance my life? Yeah. And it's so energizing to walk around and see whether it's a great idea, whether it's not a great idea. All these different ways to try and say, are people going to latch on to this? Are people going to be interested in this?
But if it helps you, isn't that worth it?
Could very well be. If you need 15 plugs to plug it in, maybe not. But.
Yeah, that ain't going to do it. So all y'all out there, you need to get your plug stuff figured out. But, from the health and wellness area, a lot of these things that are color oriented, or they're using neurosignaling, whatever the thing is, if it makes you feel better and it makes you happier or calmer or whatever the thing is, helps you to sleep, then it is useful to you. And that's the key is it's got to function, it's got to work. Can't make you look like that thing with the watermelon. But if it functions, then I think they've got a potential to help.
And I think maybe a buzzword that would come out of that category is being minimal, being minimalistic.
Absolutely, invisible.
we go into the smart home, you walk through Lowe's Smart.
Yep.
There's center that they brought here where you can go into a bedroom, you can go into a bathroom, you can go into a kitchen, and see how they're modifying the home experience to be what they're calling smart. Your thermostat knows when you walk in the house and is going to change the temperature so that you're comfortable. It's all these great innovations that are starting to come to life. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they're close.
It's encouraging.
You know, they're getting there.
It's very encouraging.
And you know, taking it back to how does it help me and monitor my wellness. I go back. I've been an athlete, and you know, we used to wear heart monitors, heart rate.
Yeah.
And as a swimmer, those things stink. You know, they're just a pain. They fall down and
Right.
whatnot. And we came across something from Epson that's called the Pulse Sense. That is a heart rate activity monitor. It's worn in a watch, and it totally removes the ability to have to wear that sort of annoying band.
Yeah, it's a very nice device. Also serves as a nice looking watch, wearable. It's got some other functionality, and so tell them how they could get one. We're going to give one away, right? So here's the Epson Pulse Sense, and if you would like to have this Pulse Sense, we're just going to make this a little gamification. That's what we're finding out here. We're going to gamify it a little bit. So what you've got to do is, if you're listening, we're going to tweet these instructions out. The first one to get to the Epson booth here at the Venetian, it's booth number 74728. We'll put this in a tweet, 74728, and go see Tanya, who's waiting for you. The first one there gets the Pulse Sense. So that's going to be fun. Tomorrow, we may have a Fitbit or a Misfit. You'll see. We'll see you here tomorrow. Colleen, thank you. It's been great. We got one more big day tomorrow for the big wrap-up on the great things here at CES and the future things that we're going to share with you. Some of the award-winning things that are, again, show us where the tipping points are in smart eyewear and wearable tech right here at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. I'm Tim Moore with Rochester Optical. We'll see you right here tomorrow.